Welcome back, everyone, to a brand new episode of the Athletes Roundtable. This podcast is brought to you by Athleisure Productions, the best place to find Iona highlight reels, podcasts, and much more. Today, we are joined by
Parker Weiss.
All right, Parker. We just wanted you to introduce yourself a little bit. So, like, maybe your grade, hometown, and, like, what your major is.
Yeah, so I'm a senior. I'm going to graduate in May. My major, marketing. Went to high school in Florida, Naples, Florida. I'm recently moved out to Colorado. Not really from anywhere. I was born in Virginia, but came from a military family, so I moved around every 2 years or so.
Dang.
And I've been at Iona all my 4 years. Started off as a walk-on in my senior year. Was blessed to have a scholarship and then be named team captain of the team this year.
Were you living in Florida for, like, most of your childhood, or did you move around?
No, I mean, I moved down to Florida in 8th grade, and I just stayed through my high school career, and then I pretty much lived up here. So I lived I can name off the places I lived at. I lived all over the States. I lived in England, Germany.
Really?
All sorts of places. Yeah.
Huh.
So I can adapt pretty well in different situations.
what are some of your favorite places you lived at?
Colorado's one for sure. Colorado Springs. I lived in Washington, the state, so I lived all the way on the other coast. Washington's beautiful too, but Virginia, probably my top three: Virginia, Colorado, and Florida. Gotta love those because they're the longest places I lived at, so you gotta love them.
Yeah, true.
Do you have any plans where you want to live after school?
So after school, I want to get into coaching basketball, and so I'm pursuing to be a graduate assistant, whether it be here or at another school, college, and I just hope it works out. Any job would be good for me. I'll be blessed and honored to do that.
All right, so how do you first get into basketball?
First got into basketball, it was me and my brother. My mom, when my dad was deployed, she didn't want us lollygagging around or whatever. She wanted us to be in an organized something after school. So we just kind of picked up on basketball, different clubs. But basketball is the one that stuck for me, and I played it since I could remember, second grade, first grade. Been playing since then, organized YMCA leagues and stuff like that. Started playing travel ball in 5th grade, and I love it.
Is there a major difference? How would you describe the major differences between playing in college compared to playing in high school?
It's competition level and whoever wants it more, for real. Because college, everyone is good. High school, you got your people, the clowns of the team or whatever. But in college, everyone's real deal. You got to step up your game, and it's just a different tenacity to it.
Would you say when you were in high school, were you the star of the team?
Yeah, I'd say in high school I was a big player on the team. I don't like to say the star of the team because it's a team sport, and I love shout out to Community School of Naples, my guys, if they're watching. But they're I was a big part of that team, and I handled the ball most of the time too. So
that's a great answer for a captain, saying it's a team sport.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So why did you choose to come to Iona?
So Coach Klus was head coach when I was going to be a freshman prior, and someone at my school knew Coach Klus, and that's how it kind of got connected that way. And he came down, saw me, met with me. He said, I don't know if I can give you a scholarship, but if you want to try out for a walk-on, you can, and you're more than welcome to be a walk-on on the team. And I always wanted to go Division I. Obviously, out of high school, I got tons of Division II, Division III offers. I could have gone that route, but I just figured I wanted to go after my goal, so I thought I could work myself up. Came here, I think it was spring, my senior year of high school. Literally tried out for Iona, and I got it. So
nice. What were the major differences between Coach Klus and Coach Pitino?
So I would say I don't want to because Coach Klus only coached me in August.
Oh, okay.
Because unfortunately he got sick.
Mm-hmm.
And the interim head coach came in, so I didn't get to have much time with Klus. But Klus and Pitino had a lot of similarities. They both wanted to win, and he put his guys before anyone else. He loves his players. They both do, and I'm just grateful for both of them and love them.
How has Pitino helped you outside of basketball, grow as a person?
Pitino outside of basketball, he really sets you up and realize like it's life and not everything's gonna be sunshines and rainbows, as they say. But Patino helped us, like in the business world, like understand that it's a business in this sport, and you have to be real with yourself. And his words, passionate, hungry, driven, you need to use that in whatever you do, not just on the court, off the court. And he taught us as well, like when you step onto the court, nothing else is a distraction. It's just you and the guys out there. And I think we can take that into everything we do. Like your guys' podcast, you block out everything. You just do the podcast. You're solely locked in. And I think that's a big take I got from him.
What was it like the first time that you like were introduced to Patino? Was it like you were shell shocked, or what was going through your mind?
Man, the first time I met with Patino was our team meeting 3 years ago. And as soon as he walked in, I knew he meant business. I mean, I admire him since forever. I remember him winning the national championship at Louisville. I was a big Louisville fan back in the day. And it was just kind of surreal that I didn't really realize it until he coached me that, wow, I'm being coached by Coach Patino, like my idol. And I think it was just a surreal moment. It was just no words, like how fast-paced it was. And it was like he introduced us, and then literally the next day, 6 a.m., we had workouts. So I think we just jumped into it really fast, and I think that was a good thing. And I wasn't really blocked by the Hall of Fame coach. He was just my next coach at the time, and I just thank him for everything he's done for me.
What was like the daily practices like from day to day? How did Patino get the team ready for game
So
day?
day to day, normal day of a Iona basketball player was we had individuals set up from 8 to 10:30, different groups. For each group, we just go through shooting stuff, different dribbling exercises, and then we'd go to lift after at either 11, 12, depends on what time group you had. Then from 2:30 to 6 every day, we have practice, and practice would be just up and down. You just play and go over like the different sets we had, and then for getting prepped for a game, we'd go over scout and everything. And then after that, we had team meal as a team. And
Every day.
Every day.
Wow.
It's a lot.
It sounds like I don't know how you have time for school and everything.
No, I mean, school is at night. That's when you do it. So,
what would you say is your favorite part of either practices or games, like favorite part of basketball?
I think the favorite part of basketball is off the court and the bond you guys make as a team. And I think that carries onto the court, because if you don't have that bond, you won't be able to connect on the court. And you saw that this year, like DJ and Walt, they click like no other, and they never met each other before this year. But I think the different activities that we had off the court, the different dinners, the bowling, whatever, movies, like I think that bond's crucial to have in basketball.
Do you have a least favorite part?
A least favorite part?
Yeah.
Probably, I mean, I'm a conditioned guy, but I'd have to say the conditioning. I mean, no one likes to run except for our cross-country team.
So on game day, were you like excited, nervous? Like walk us through what you were feeling come game day.
Game day, if you're prepared, I don't think you should be real nervous and like to the point where you're scared to go out there, because if you're prepared, you're ready to go. And I think nerves are a part of the game. If you're not nervous, that means you don't love it. And so nerves are a good thing, but when it becomes excessive, I think that's when it's a problem. And when you just prep and do the scouting that we knew that if we followed it, we'd get the job done. So I felt confident before every game, especially with our team and our coaching staff.
Do you have any like pregame rituals or like special routines that you do every game?
Yeah, I mean, surprisingly, I don't listen to music before a game. So I know that's weird to say, because people are like, what kind of music you listen to before the game? My ritual, I don't listen to music. I just I sit in the back of the bus when we're on road trips. I just look at the scout. Then I go into the gym, stretch. I'm the first one on the court, do some form shots. And there's nothing much to it. I'm a simple guy. So
I feel like as crazy as it sounds, like you don't listen to music, I feel like I read somewhere like Caitlin Clark, like she doesn't listen to music that much because like the adrenaline, she doesn't want to like add on to the adrenaline. You know what I mean? So it kind of makes sense why you don't listen to music.
Kind of like be in the moment type thing.
Yeah, exactly.
True.
So, come March Madness, what was the game like against UConn?
We knew UConn's a great team, as you can see. They're in the Final Four, and they're in our eyes they aren't a 4 seed, but luck of the draw. But before you're confident and you think you can beat any team, and that's how we felt. And we felt that they had some flaws that we could bring out in the game. And in the first half, you saw that we were up by 2. The second half is just it's just tough. It's just the way basketball goes. They made the shots, and it's a tough loss. But I thought we were the best team to fight UConn so far in this tournament. So
I'd have to agree. I think it was the best performance, especially to be leading after a half. Do you think if you played a different team, you would have won?
I mean, you could say a lot of ifs and buts, but I believe any game we can win. So not going to knock any teams because they're all great teams. Whoever makes the March Madness is a great team. And so pretty much if you give anyone to us, we're going to be confident going into it, and we're going to be put up a fight. So
I think that first half by you guys was like the best half I've seen since I've like watched Iona games. Like I think that was the best half I've seen from you guys playing. So
yeah, and I think pressure is a big part of that, and it makes you come out on a big stage and play to your best abilities because everything's on the line. Like if we would have won that game, who would have known like what the future would have brought us. So it's just big time stage, big time plays, and you saw it in the first half. So
how was the training different for that week, if it was different at all, before the game against UConn?
Training didn't change much. I mean, we still went through the same schedule that we usually do, except in practices, obviously, it's not lighter, but you're focused more on the other team. And later in the season, you're going to be focused on scout. And that time of the year, it's all about the scout and just defending your man. And that's what it comes down to, because if you can't make plays defensively, then you're not going to be able to win. And that's a big part of why we were successful during the year. Shout out to our coaching staff. They worked tirelessly, endlessly to give us great scouts, and that's a huge help to us as players.
So with UConn in the Final Four, do you think they can win it all? Or who do you have winning it all?
I think they can win it all for sure. And like the 3 other teams, Miami, San Diego State, FAU are great teams too, but I think UConn just has too many weapons that they got a bench that can come in and be as good as their starters. And I think fatigue's going to be a big part because Miami is not that deep. San Diego State too, and FAU maybe a little deep, but not like UConn.
Yeah.
As like a fan perspective, I feel like this is the wildest March Madness because it's crazy that like the top seed is number 4.
Yeah.
And that just shows you that like anything can happen in March Madness. So.
Yeah, and you kind of like got to feel for that this year because there wasn't really like a top dog because so many teams were up and down. You thought Purdue was it, then Houston would be it the next week. It was a weird basketball season. It was a weird basketball season, for sure.
Yeah. In all of my brackets, I put Iona over UConn. Of course, I had to.
Come on.
But I was saying, it's either going to be Iona upsetting UConn or UConn's going to like the Final Four or something. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
So.
No. I mean, it's tough to lose, but after you got to think about it, and sometimes just a better team beats you, and they're a better team, and they're a great team, and I hope they win, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm hoping so too.
So what are some of like the lessons you guys can learn as a team, like after playing UConn?
I mean, the lessons we can learn is that, and that I believe we had learned, was you don't take anyone lightly, and just because UConn's on their jersey doesn't mean you should be afraid of them. They're like college basketball players just like us, and I think we took that in the first half. In the second half, I mean, we understand that basketball is a game. People are going to make shots, and not to get too down about it. I mean, it happens. That's the way it goes.
Now, would you say, especially with like March Madness and like you're basically like the whole school is watching you, do you say there's too much pressure on you as a college athlete?
No, I mean, we live for that. We love people watching us. That's what we want. I mean, without that, we wouldn't get noticed or anything. And we appreciate you guys coming to the games too to get us out there even further with your videos, photos. Like, we use that. And I mean, this is my second time being in March Madness, and this one's way better than the first one because the first one was in the bubble, so it wasn't really a true March Madness. And this time, mean, being in that arena was crazy. There were so many people.
It was wild.
Yeah. Like even for me, like filming it, like Iona is like a crazy good arena. I
Yeah.
feel like, but to be at that arena at March Madness, like with all the fans around and everything, it was
Felt like
a
they were
surreal
cascading
moment.
you, bro. Like you
Yeah,
were
I
on
know.
top of you.
Like 14,000 people.
Yeah.
I mean, they had way too many UConn fans there,
Yeah.
to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, we were prepared for that too because we played at New Mexico and they fit 15,000 people in their stadium and that was sold out. And I
That's crazy.
our schedule really helped us prepare for that game too. We played a tough schedule. Like Princeton, we beat Princeton, but they made it to the Elite Eight, Sweet 16.
Mhm.
So, outside of basketball, what's some hobbies that you like to do?
I mean, I'm a sports guy. I'm a sports junkie. I play high school football, and so I love football. I'm a Vikings fan in the NFL.
Hey, let's go Vikings.
Right? And so I love watching sports. I like to bowl. I like to play golf. I'm a big chess player. Good at chess.
Interesting.
Yeah, I know, right? Chess club. I was going back to my dad being deployed. That was a club that I had to join with my brother. We had to do chess, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, hang out with friends, going to the movies. I like going to the movies. I'm a big movie guy, and yeah, those are my hobbies pretty much.
How did you become a Vikings fan?
My dad, he not from Minnesota at all. Actually, he's just my dad was a college football quarterback at the academy, and he loved Fran Tarkenton, which was a quarterback at the Vikings at the time. Ever since then, it's stuck. So, I mean, it just passed down to me.
That's like exactly how I became a Vikings fan.
Oh
My
yeah.
dad's like a huge Fran Tarkenton fan, and he just loved their jerseys, and then he just became a fan of them, and then it just
mean,
passed down to me too.
Bro, we're gonna win one soon. It's coming
I
up.
think so too. I mean,
Not before the Jets, though. I think
The
there's-
Jets. Well, you saw that stat the other day. The Vikings had one of the highest win percentages during the regular season ever. Top 3.
but not in the
and
playoffs.
No Super Bowls.
No Super Bowls, yeah.
We
I
just
mean,
can't win it.
I feel bad for the Bills too, because my brother's a Bills fan. So hopefully the Bills or the Vikings win it soon, because
Yeah,
I feel like
hate
Justin Jefferson can really.
I hate the Bills.
Really?
I don't like any team other than the Vikings. I'm
Ah.
like that type of like NFL. And my teams are everywhere. I said I'm not from anywhere.
Mhm.
So I'm like a St. Louis Cardinals fan.
Huh.
I'm a Chicago Blackhawks fan. I'm a San Antonio Spurs fan.
Oof.
So I'm just everywhere.
Mhm. What do you think the team will look like next year
Huh.
with the new coach and the new players?
I mean, it's tough getting a new coach, like, to come in because you don't know him. You don't know if he wants you, and you want to feel wanted as a college basketball player. And I know a lot of guys already entered the portal, but I think Coach Anderson's going to bring in a good group of guys for Iona, and he's going to do well here. He's going to do well.
I hope so too, personally.
Yeah.
Obviously, since we're Iona people. But
Yeah.
we're going to go on to a new segment, and we're going to go on to hot takes. So how hot takes is going to work is we're going to present the hot take, and we can each take a side, argue about it, talk about it, whatever we want, and just go from there. So the first one, this is really for Jordan here, but
Love this one.
is Steph Curry top 10 all time?
He's number one.
Number one, it's crazy.
I think he's top 10. Number 1 is no. Like, we're talking about overall, like,
Yeah.
player. Yeah, no.
All history.
I mean, I think he's top 10 for sure. Especially winning that last championship. I think he put himself in that caliber as top 10.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's name him out. What? MJ,
Yep.
right? Has to be it.
LeBron. of
LeBron.
course.
Shaq.
Shaq.
Yeah,
I'd say
put
Shaq.
there. Yep. Kobe.
Kobe.
Now, do you think Curry over Magic Johnson or Magic Johnson over?
See,
Curry?
that's tough. But I'd take Curry personally.
Mm.
He's a better scorer. He's a better.
Obviously got like Kareem
Yeah.
Abdul-Jabbar. I would put in
Kareem.
top 10. Wilt Chamberlain. I mean, that's a
Do you
totally
put-
different
do
era
you
of
put
basketball.
Bill Russell up there
Mhm.
just because he
Yeah.
won 11.
What about Larry Bird?
No, Larry Bird's not up there. I'm sorry. I love Larry though. Love Larry.
I would put Bill Russell
Mhm.
up there.
Bill
Yeah,
I
Russell
would
has to
too,
be up there.
Yeah.
because
11 championships speaks for itself.
Mhm.
It's like, who else, man?
There's so many basketball players.
That's already like 7. I feel like.
I got 7. Yeah, we need 3 more. We didn't even say Curry. I mean,
Yeah, Curry.
Right, yeah.
Curry 8.
And then
Would you put Magic still in there?
Magic is close.
I think he's on the
I
border.
would. Yeah, I mean,
feel like,
Maybe like
Tim
10th,
Tim Duncan.
11th.
Tim Duncan has like the
Duncan.
craziest. I would have to put him in there.
He's got the
because,
craziest
highest win percentage of all time.
He's the
He's the fundamentals.
I think he's the best power forward ever,
Mhm.
to be honest.
And
So
then-
9 and then
I mean,
10.
Spurs fan.
yeah.
I mean, I can agree with that though, because I feel like you had Kawhi, you had Tony Parker, you had
Manu.
Manu,
Yeah.
like you had a bunch of good people, but I feel like Tim Duncan was like the main.
He's been
Guy.
there. I mean, he was there with Duncan Robinson,
Mm.
and he kind of forged the Spurs, go. I mean, like you said, highest winning percentage like ever. So.
Would you put Kevin Durant up there?
Or would you put Kobe?
Kobe's up there. I would
Kobe's
put
up
Kobe.
there.
Kobe top 10 or
Yeah.
Kevin is tough. He's
Yeah.
definitely a top 10 scorer,
For sure.
but
Defensively.
I mean, I'm not a Kevin Durant fan, to be honest.
No,
Okay. Fair.
going back to Curry, I feel like Curry did not need Kevin Durant at all to
No,
win
I
those
mean, and he
championships.
proved that. He
Yeah.
won,
True.
3 without him?
Mhm.
Mhm.
And it's like everyone says, oh, well, they needed Kevin Durant after LeBron came back down 3-1. And it it made the Warriors a lot better, but they didn't really necessarily need Kevin Durant
No, you
to win all
didn't.
those championships.
Kevin Durant needed them.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about Jokic?
Jokic.
I mean, he's young.
I feel like
so-
he's too
early.
new.
I think
Yeah,
it's early.
Yeah.
Then you'd have to say Giannis.
True. Yeah, I know. It's
Mhm.
like there's so many
they're so
players.
young. They're so young, so I think that's unfair to put them top 10
hmm
because their careers are just at the peaks.
True.
What about Jeremy Lin?
Just for Linsanity, you have to put him.
yeah. For those 10 days.
Yeah, the 10 days. Nah, when he was a Knick, that was a good time to be a New York Knick.
Oh yeah. I
With
remember
the-
those days.
So
Yeah.
the only good time to be in New York Knicks fan?
Hopefully
This
soon
year,
to
man,
be.
this year they're doing
this-
something.
They are.
They're
Jalen
what,
Brunson.
5th in the
Yeah,
standings?
I think they're 5th right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Spurs are tanking.
I
Victor.
know. It's tough.
I don't even know his name. Wembanyama.
Oh, yeah, that's
what?
right. Mhm.
Wembanyama?
Wembanyama.
It's-
Yeah.
He's like that 7-foot plus
Yeah,
guy.
Yeah,
right?
bro.
he's wild.
From France.
I don't even
he's
know.
Gonna be nice. Bro.
Yeah, but I mean, look at Chet Holmgren. He got hurt. He's
Yeah,
never
but he
played
might be coming back
this year.
if the Thunder make the playoffs.
Interesting. I just don't know what to think about him because he was pretty solid in college, of course, but
Yeah, I
he's
think
so
he's too
thin
weak.
that if he
But-
got hurt,
But Victor's low. He's not. He's skinny, but
Mhm.
he's not Chet skinny.
true.
Mhm.
I'd take Oz over Chet, to be honest.
You know who I still think is such a big bust is Zion Williamson. Because in Duke he was a beast.
No, I
He
can't.
disagrees.
Now-
He disagrees over there.
now it's I don't know. I feel like his name kind of diminished a little bit.
See, is he hurt right now?
He's hurt right now.
Okay. See,
But he's always hurt.
he is.
How's he hurt? And he's an all-star.
That's a good point. But he's so good. He's very good basketball player, but he's so hurt
He
all the time.
scores.
Yeah.
I mean, it's his body. He can use his body for whatever. I mean,
Yeah.
he scores at will.
True.
His jumper's not the best, but
Right.
he just gets to the basket so easily.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He's just very athletic. He's
Yeah.
athletic for being built.
Yeah.
Wasn't it in I might be totally wrong, but wasn't it a March Madness game where he had the shoe on and then it broke on him and then he got hurt from it?
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, it
I don't
was
remember. They went far, right?
Yeah,
'Cause
they
they
did
beat
pretty good.
UCF.
Well, they also had RJ
was
Barrett and Cam Reddish too.
Yeah, you can.
But they did not win. They were projected to win though.
Mhm.
Because I remember he got hurt in college and then all of a sudden he just kept on getting hurt and hurt and hurt.
I think
know what
his
happened.
I think his injury woes started in NBA when they started they were trying to change the way he runs and I don't even know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And then he gained a ton of weight when he got hurt last time, which
Yeah.
obviously it's tough if you're hurt to not gain
To
weight.
not gain weight, especially
Yeah.
for him, he's a big body guy.
Right. Exactly.
I don't know how you fluctuate that.
So do you think Curry's the best point guard of all time? I think he's the best shooter of all time. You have Ray Allen, you have Reggie
Yeah, it
Miller.
was tough.
Best point guard of all
Larry
time.
Bird.
I need a list. I'm gonna forget someone. It's
Magic.
either Magic or him, to be honest.
What about AI?
AI is good.
I mean,
but
AI.
he never did he win a championship?
No,
Yeah.
no rings. You can't.
True.
Can't give it.
True. Huh.
Did Stockton win one? Because
I
he
don't know.
leads in assists, and that's
Stockton-
crazy.
Yeah. What
He's
team
a-
was Stockton?
Jazz.
Mhm.
He was with Malone.
I'm not sure. I feel like yes. I feel like they did win one, but
Did
I'm
they
not
win
sure.
one?
I thought
Karl
Malone had
win
one, but I could be totally wrong on that. I don't really know.
Did they win
I
it?
think.
No, because the Rockets won it when
Akeem.
Olajuwon.
Michael
Olajuwon.
Jordan was out a year for baseball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's when because that was the Jazz when they were on the prime. Because Karl Malone won MVPs, I think 2 times within that span,
Mm-hmm.
and I think the Rockets won it when the Bulls were not without MJ. But John Stockton was. People hate on John Stockton because he's the leading assist guy in the history of the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
But I think personally, I'll put Curry as top now.
Nice.
Okay.
I like that answer.
I don't want to get sidetracked because we keep getting sidetracked with these stuff, but it
Yeah.
doesn't really matter. But Kyrie Irving, what are your thoughts on Kyrie Irving?
Huh. I mean, he's hurt himself,
Yeah.
Okay.
and the situations that he put himself in, and I mean, it's because I love Kyrie.
Mhm.
I mean, I think Uncle Drew, I love him, but it's just unfortunate because he's such a great player, and I think him jumping around teams now, I think it's not good for him.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's why I really like Damian Lillard because he just stayed with the Trailblazers.
Yeah.
But going back to Kyrie Irving, it's like that shot he had to win the championship over the Warriors. Like, I think
Iconic.
that
Yeah.
solidified him a little bit in the history of the NBA. But I just don't like how he's changing around like different teams, like you said, and how he's like blaming it on other people. Like he's got to take
Yeah, I
some
mean,
accountability.
The Mavs were like 6th or 5th and whatever. Now they're out of playoff contention right now.
Yeah, which is
Mhm.
crazy.
and the
Crazy.
Nets are in 6th spot. So
Yeah.
That's wild. Personally, Kyrie Irving, I think, is one of the most talented basketball players I've ever seen. Like,
Yeah.
aside from moving teams and everything, and obviously he doesn't have the rings to back it up, really, except with the Cavs. I
Yeah.
think that was the only one he won, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But his finishing, and when he's on, like, he's on. It's crazy. Offensively, at least. Offensively. He's the most...
His ball handling
I
is his ball handling and finishing is probably the best in the NBA for sure.
Yeah.
I think Curry and him are neck and neck
Mhm.
because they're. I mean, Kyrie's known for his handles.
Right.
That's what he's known for. Uncle Drew, like I said, but I mean, he's kind of like dropped on my player likability.
Mhm. What do you think of Damian Lillard? Going back to him.
I love Dame. I mean, I'm a big believer in stay where you're at, like work on it, like don't jump on the best team possible. But Damian, he's again the top 3-point shooter of all time personally, and I think he'll eventually get the pieces he needs at the Trailblazers, and I think I hope he wins a ring. I hope he does.
I hope so, too. Honestly, Dame, I feel like, even though I like people saying where they are, but I feel like he should move because I feel like the Trailblazers with Damian Lillard have been pretty good for a long time, but they're never going to be in the running
Great,
for...
yeah.
And it's been like many year after year after year after year that they're not great. So, like, obviously, they haven't gotten the right people,
Yeah.
but it's been many years. So, like, they should at least have a chance at getting the right people, but they're just not. So I feel like it's time for him to move on to somewhere else. But
Now, which destination would you say?
I mean,
fit
the
him
New York
best?
Knicks. I'm just kidding.
Like,
I don't know.
Like, what place would suit his needs?
I think the Timberwolves.
Timberwolves?
Him, Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, Rudy Gobert. That would be a crazy
That'd be a
team.
crazy lineup, but I hate Rudy Gobert.
Really?
I really do.
Why?
I don't know. I just don't like him.
I can see how he's overrated a little bit.
I think he is overrated. I mean, he's a great defensive player, but I
Other
think he's
than
overrated
that-
for sure.
I think Karl Anthony Towns is a beast.
I
Yeah.
think Cat's a beast.
Him
Yeah.
and Dame would go crazy.
Him and Ant, bro. Ant's crazy.
Yeah, they are wild. Can they even afford that, though? Like,
No,
Also-
they won't be able to.
yeah.
Maybe the Cavs. Him and Donovan Mitchell. That would be crazy. Dame and Donovan
Nah, they
Mitchell.
No,
won't-
no, 'cause they
wouldn't do
have-
that.
But they have
Garland.
Yeah. Who's the other guy that they have?
They
It's
have
really good.
Garland, Levert, Mitchell. Another point guard, you mean?
Yeah.
I forget.
I
I think
know.
Garland's their main guy. Darius?
Oh, yeah.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
so too,
Darius
yeah.
Garland. Yeah. I was thinking of the Hawks. Who did they get this year?
Oh, DeJounte.
Yeah.
They've been. Did you see
Trae
that
Young.
stat? They're even and everything.
Yes,
Like
yeah, like
500,
1-1,
yeah.
2-2. Like they've won and lost every
The
other
last
game.
2 games they've been 1-1. The last 4 games they're 2-2.
Yep.
Last
the way up
16
to-
games
yeah.
they're 8-8.
Yeah. I think it went up all the way up to like 15 or something.
Yeah.
It was crazy. Like
Yeah.
they're
They're just flat out even.
What place are they in? Are they in the play-in right now?
They're like 8,
Okay.
7 or 8.
I feel like as a team that would be so annoying, but like you're consistent with it though. So
Yeah,
So what do you guys think about the playing games?
I like
How
them.
they brought that in?
I don't like them. Honestly.
Don't like them?
Yeah. I mean, I can see how it brings like more teams like a chance to get into the playoffs and like fans of the teams like staying with their teams and stuff. But if a team gets the A seed, I feel like they deserve to play
Yeah. and
instead of giving it to like a 10 seed who might not have had the better record because they're in the 10 spot and then just win like 1 or 2 games and then they're in the
I mean,
the
yeah,
playoffs.
but if you are in the 7 and 8 spot, then you do get 2 chances to win versus like the 9 and 10 spot. You have to win both your games to win. So you do have an advantage at that. But I kind of do like it because then you give more teams a chance to get in instead of just like the set.
It's kind of like the
8.
March Madness feel, how you play in the playing games. Like
Yeah.
some teams deserve to be in there, but they lose because that's just the way it goes. I mean, but March Madness and the NBA playoffs are completely different. You're talking about college athletes versus guys getting paid to like do this, and if they lose, that's like their job on the line.
True.
Mhm.
So it's different.
I know that like the play-in tournament in the NBA screwed over the Warriors, and I'm not really happy. Still not over that, so I don't like it.
So you're a Warriors fan?
Yeah. I mean, everyone called me a bandwagon, but I became a Warriors fan when I was like 6th grade, I think. I mean, they did go like 73-9 at the time, but
Yeah.
they didn't win the championship. So
I mean, yeah, they
and then I stuck with them. So.
Fumbled the bag.
talk
on
about
one.
that one. 73-9 to go a whole NBA season and lose only 9 games.
Very impressive.
Yeah. And
Very
then
impressive.
to lose 3 straight in the championship.
It's crazy.
That I think will be the peak of NBA playoffs right there.
That's why
2016 just
Yeah.
That's why I say LeBron is better than MJ.
because
of that. Because of that 3-1 comeback and because of the way he led like the team.
I'm looking
I
at
don't know.
Ryan over there. He's like holding his.
I mean, we've had this discussion before. I think it was on Kate's podcast, but I like the best point that you bring up is that when MJ went to go play baseball for a year and the Bulls still made the Eastern Conference Finals, right?
Yeah.
That's the best point I've ever heard against.
And
MJ
then
being
when
the-
LeBron leaves, like all the teams that he just left, like the Heat, the Cavs, they all go down a little bit. So
Do you
I
think
feel like
that's-
he means more to the team.
Do you think that's good or bad for the organization though, to bring in someone like that?
Yeah.
And then if you lose them, you're just right back down.
I mean, if I would say it's worth it for those couple years you have him, just in case there's a chance, because there's
Yeah.
always a chance with him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're putting yourself a lot at risk though, because it's a lot of money. One, and what? He's getting older now, so you're gonna risk maybe 1 or 2 years.
Right now, it might not be the same. It's
Yeah.
definitely not the same anymore because he's older. Obviously, he's still
Yeah.
putting up good numbers, but he's not the same player.
But like, do you know like off your point, like why I say LeBron's better than MJ is because when he went to the Heat, like everyone was like losing their minds, and then
Yeah.
when he came back to the Cavs, like everyone was losing their minds again, and he won championships with both teams. It's like that's why I have him as the best. Like I know people say MJ because he stayed with one team,
Mm.
but LeBron won with multiple teams as like the star leader.
I think MJ hasn't beat in competitive nature.
hmm
He's just a way more competitive guy. But LeBron is a all-around like great player. He can pass it, rebound. Like we've never seen anything like it.
True.
Mm-hmm.
It's crazy athletic. It's wild.
Crazy athletic.
Especially at like, what is he, 39 now? 40?
Yeah, like getting up there, bro.
And
Yeah.
like the other thing with MJ, like I can keep on talking about this debate since I think LeBron is better, but like so many people say it's MJ because of like the culture he brought and he like changed everything and he was like the main face in the NBA, but I just hate that because it's like we're not talking about culture, we're talking about like the actual game itself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and honestly, I didn't even like the culture that he brought because he plays selfishly. I mean, him and Kobe. I mean, obviously they both have crazy work ethics and they're in the gym all the time working on their game, but like they brought a level of selfish basketball, and I like the team aspect of basketball, like you were saying earlier. It's like it's the team.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's different from NBA to college, but I mean, college is more important on the team because any team could win.
Mm-hmm.
But like NBA, especially now with the super teams, it's kind of more about the self and like not playing a team style of basketball. It's not all the time, but often.
Yeah.
I also think the super teams only work if the guys are all bought in. because you saw that at the Nets. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously the injuries affected it,
Right.
but if you just have guys going in like for themselves, like trying to think it's a super team, like it's not gonna work. A team's gonna win at the end of the day. Whoever has the most depth, whoever is all bought in together, and that's what I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point because Mikal Bridges, Spencer Dinwiddie, and Cam Johnson have played together more than Kyrie,
Harden and Durant.
Durant.
Yeah, and
This is insane.
insane.
Is Harden hurt right now? I've heard nothing
I've
about
heard nothing
Harden.
about him, just Joel, and I've heard that people are going at Joel for not playing against Jokic.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
So we move on to the next one?
That one question brought us like
that one brought us
more.
like
Hot
25
take.
minutes.
The hot take number one.
And then it wasn't even about Curry. It was like 5
yeah.
sentences about Curry.
All
We
right,
just moved
so
on.
my final answer is Curry is top 10. Yeah.
Okay.
I
I
like that.
if he is top 10 for me, I would say no. I think he's top 15, definitely, but I don't think he's top 10. Obviously, Jordan.
I think he's top 5, which is crazy, but I think
To
he's
each its
top
own.
5.
To each its own.
So I'm looking at these hot takes, and would you rather play in 90 or 40 degrees
That's a
basketball?
good question.
90.
I agree.
So you just like super hot, so you just keep it.
Yeah, if you're cold, you can't feel your hands.
I agree.
That's a good point.
You can't dribble. I've definitely played my fair share of pickup games outside in the cold, and like you can't dribble.
I've
Mhm.
got, the pleasure to play in both, and I'd take 90 degrees. I'd be shoveling snow in Colorado, and it sucked. So
Mhm.
I agree. Jordan, what would you rather play in?
I would rather play in 90 degrees too.
Yeah.
So I feel like 40 degrees, like after a while, you can't feel anything.
can't
so
feel
it's
anything.
like,
Your ears
can't
are
dribble.
cold as heck.
Yeah.
And also, like, once you're hot, like you're just gonna be hot. You know you're gonna be sweating a lot.
Yeah.
Even if you're in a gym, like, obviously it would probably have to be outside if it was 90 degrees. Like, there's a little breeze, maybe, cooling you down.
I mean, you go sit down in the shade, drink some water.
Yeah.
Cold, you have to go inside, drink some hot cocoa. Like,
yeah.
hmm
True.
And then another one is: would you rather coach in college or NBA?
oof, that's tough. Putting money aside,
Yeah. If it was the same contract, let's say.
college.
Mm.
I think
Mm.
NBA is different. Coaching, they're grown men. They're going out there. They're just going to play at the end of the day. Obviously, there's strategy going into it. But I think college, you can take control more of the team and more of the scouting aspect of things. And I think that's what I'd choose.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like you can lead them more because it's gonna be hard to go up to LeBron and be like, run this play, because he's
Yeah.
gonna be like, no, I want to do it this way. Then you're like, okay, just do it your way. But I feel like college, you can take control of the team a little bit, and then like what you said, how like NBA, they're a little bit older. Like you can like change someone's lives. I feel like more in college, so that's
Mhm.
why I'd be a coach in college.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I feel like to coach in the NBA, I feel like you need to be there and like at least experience it. It's different. It's just different though.
Yeah, and plus, like, as we were alluding to it before, but college is just, like, so much more the team, I
Mhm.
feel like, rather than the NBA. Like, you can have a star player on the NBA, and they don't even run a play. They just give it to him.
ISO.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you have that in college sometimes, too, but not nearly as much.
Yeah.
And, like, college, there's less games in a season, so, like, each game is more important.
Yeah.
So, in the NBA, you could, theoretically, you could lose half of your games, and you're still fine. You can still make the playoffs. Obviously, it wouldn't be as good as you won more, but like in college, you cannot do that.
Yeah.
So there's more of an emphasis on winning, at least until the playoffs, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's like more opportunities. I feel like as a college coach, because
Mhm.
you can take like a 16 seed and win a game, and then go from like kind of like FDU, like Tobin Anderson, like go from FDU to Iona.
Yeah, and you can take St. Peter's last year.
That
He's
was
at Seton Hall
crazy.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it's crazy that Iona beat them every time we played them.
Yeah.
And
I mean, it's just like I said, basketball, man.
yeah.
I mean, any team can beat any team if you're not prepared.
Mm.
And I felt like we were prepared, but when we lost to Ryder in that tournament, we just took them lightly. We were
Mhm.
going into it too confident,
Mhm.
and I think too much of anything's bad.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it was tough for you, but that was also tough to watch.
It was tough.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It was like morning. We had to go like we were like locked away in our rooms watching St. Peter's going to Elite Eight.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna move away from the hot take segment so we don't take up more time. But yeah, we'll go to a little interview and we'll finish it off. The first question that we have for the last part of the interview, just a couple questions. Do you have any inspirations for basketball or for life?
I mean, I think big inspirations for me is like my grandfather and my dad. My grandfather was a collegiate football coach for a long time, and my dad was obviously a collegiate football player, and they kind of drove me the way I am now, and I want to get into coaching, and I know that's a lot. They told me it's a lot to do. It's a hard work. You're going to be on the road a lot, but it's something that I want to do, and they kind of influenced me in that way. And my brother too, we grew up together. We shared a room, twin beds all the time, and we'd always go at it in sports, and he always pushed me, I pushed him. I think that's a big part of my life as well, but I'd say my grandfather and my dad.
And then, what is next for you, like, in life? I know it's like
It's tough.
big question.
Yeah.
But next for me is wherever the opportunity leads me.
Mhm.
I've reached out to Coach Anderson, and Coach Pacino says he's here if I need it, any help. But like I said, I want to be a graduate assistant. I think that's a good stepping stone into a coaching career, because I learned from Coach Pacino as a player, and I feel like if I get experience from another coach, I can take that with me and kind of compare and take what, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and make it my own. And I think that's next step. Hopefully get a GA position somewhere.
If you don't mind me asking, what would be something you would change
Change?
in like coaching wise?
I mean, I'm a big up tempo guy. I mean, 3-and-D is what I, pride myself in, but not much change. I think I want to be more personable, and I think that's a bad thing if you want to be too personal, but I want to be able to connect with my players in a way that they feel confident in whatever they do, and they come to me whenever. But obviously there has to be a ground of like, I don't want to make them feel like I'm a friend or something. I want to be like there as a mentor, like someone you can come to and talk about anything. I think that part I would change. And obviously on court things, I mean, takes time and a lot of thought, but right now I have nothing that would change, but
Okay.
We'll see.
All right. Well, Parker, thank you so much for joining our podcast this week. And thank you to all of you who are listening. We will be back next week with a brand new show, so please stay tuned. This has been the Athletes Roundtable.
Jordan.
Ryan, signing off.